That's better. There we go. All right, people, how we doing out there? First things first, my name's Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG, Infusion Light Energy Gain. Whew, man, we got rain, man. We got rain. I was hoping to get out to get something that I needed, but I'm going to have to wait until the rain showers basically crease a little bit, and then I can go out and get some stuff I need to get done. But until then, I got demonstrations that I can do in here with no problem whatsoever. So I'll be doing some demonstrations on our screen paint because we are going to have the screen paint outside more often. I do want to do more demonstrations on our white levels on our technology on 300 lumens outside because, you know, man, that's the best way to show off a black technology that can read its white levels correctly when we can do this outside at 300 lumens. So in the demonstration, we're using our Chrissy LW400. It's a projector that cost me only $60. That's basically about it. The 720p, it sits in eco mode. And we can pull our images up nice and sharp. And as you saw in the demonstrations, on the test demonstrations on this product, you were seeing the paint down demonstrations were easy to apply the technology to any surface that we want. And on top of that, no complicated, difficult instructions, because again, I do start seeing them a lot. The technologies make 720p projectors look absolutely incredible. That way you're not spending all this money for something that you don't need. And this technology is proven can pick up outside at 300 lumens. Did that demonstration. As we did several demonstrations, I got to do a mashup demonstration for that for a former site. It reads an Infinity 1 contrast level, or Infinity 2 now, contrast levels, which means it can read a 100% black level without requiring expensive projectors to do so. Let's get Sony. Oh, microphone's not on this side. Let me see where microphones are at. Oh, this side. There we go. Now, you see how black our menu is for our YouTube? As I explained before, YouTube only displays in two types of menus. They display in black and they display in white. That's it. If it's coming up gray, that means it's not reading the black levels correctly. The perfect black OLED. Now you see how that black level pulls? That's what you need to see in black screens. But you also need to register high white levels, while a lot of the testing is required at low lumen projectors, and those demonstrations have to be done outside. If they're not done outside, then it tells you right there from the door that that screen is going to have a very difficult time generating inside. And if it's an inside and the environment is very dark, then that's another problem you're going to have right there from the door also. And what I've seen in demonstrations where people try to fake their contrast levels, again, you have to be outside with those things. I can't express that enough to people. When I get that all the time, I see somebody trying to show off a black projection screen paint, you got to be outside with them. Because unless you're going to say your product is, you're going to say it's a weatherproof, you can't say it's weatherproof. And you really can't call it ambient light rejection, because from our standpoint, an ambient light rejection technology, because as you can see by our demonstrations, we're experts in the field. We feel that ambient light rejection technology is proven when it's done outside. Because again, if it's done outside, it's hard for a person to fake those demonstrations. So if you have to be outside, it is going to be very hard for you to fake a demonstration. There's nothing there to protect your screen in any way whatsoever. So that's why on my page, pages, I put down that if you really have ambient light rejection, you should be operate outside with no problem whatsoever. Our environments in here contain around 24,000 in lighting. That's why I turn all the lights on. This is how well lit our environments get. So when you got other people in their environments, as I showed you before, that's usually how their videos will start off, being in the dark. We can do ours in fully lit environments. As you can see, it's bright, plenty of light. That's how well lit. See how well lit my environment just got? That's where you have to be sitting at if you claim to have a black or any form of screen that's ambient light projection technology. You literally have to be under this kind of light. I love this office. So much light. My next setup, I'm going to have a room set up just for testing screens in. It's going to be 3 times the amount of light we have in here. Now, I've been through this before. People say, well, you know, it's a venue, it's whatever. Doesn't make a difference. They don't work on gray screens. They don't work on gray screens. They don't register on white screens. They don't pick up on them. You have a projector. If people feel that if I go out and spend $7,000 per projector, we got one on our site right now. When you first come in, my promo demonstration was on a church who basically had a 7,000 projector. The white screen wouldn't read. The more light you add to your screen, faster it's going to wash out because it can't absorb. So it doesn't make a difference what projector we use in here, a gray and white screen won't register. Now right under the lights too. So for those of you who are shopping out there for projection screens and projectors, number 1, you're spending too much money for your projector. Number 2, you should not be calibrating that thing at all, period. Any way whatsoever, you never should be calibrating your projector. The screen should have got that right from the door. You should be operating in fully lit environments. You should be able to read a 100% contrast level because that's what your projector is trying to do. The projector is trying to give you a contrast level. The screen won't allow it to do so. It ain't allowing it to do its job. So you're cheating yourself at the end of the day. We'll be making this a matching better today. By the way, keep in mind my ceilings contain 24,000 lumens of light, not 2,400. The projector right now is in eco mode, so it's doing somewhere between 2,500 lumens, and this projector does 4,000, which still wouldn't be enough to match the lighting we have in here. 4,000 versus 24,000? No. And we're at eco mode. Now see how that black pulled up? See how you see the shine? You're supposed to read all of that. None of that's supposed to come in dull. None of your colors should ever come in dull. So we consider this to be the most advanced, most superior black technology on the market. It beats any certified screen. It beats any gunmetal screen, or gunmetal screen, of course, I just said certified would be gunmetal. It beats any gray screen, any day of the week, any white surface. You see what these things do to white surfaces, right? The white surface doesn't even exist. You can do that at 300 lumens at 24,000 in the ceiling, and a white screen won't register next to this technology. And it can operate outside at 300 lumens. Pretty soon when we get done engineering the new gunmetal technology, it'll wipe any gunmetal off the planet. No gunmetal will compete with it. It'll have options that it can do that a gunmetal screen will never be able to do, and cost far less than a $7,000 screen. So a $7,000 screen does not have the ability to be front and rear technology, doesn't have the ability to absorb light, not ultra short though compatible. Of course, all our stuff is all projector mapping because we use projector mapping technology. And has shifting technology to actually even darken its contrast levels to make it look like it can read black, but actually technically it's not reading black, so it can shift. No gunmetal screen right now in the market even has that capability. And our screens can be submerged underwater, which means makes them completely weatherproof. So that technology will be engineering, it will be far surpass any gunmetal on the market. This black technology we have right here, far surpass any black screen paint, gray paint, or white paint on the market. And the 15% technology, the new black sun vision screens we're bringing out, if you lay a gray screen against it, it'll alter and change its color. So think about the arsenal that we're building right now for future technology. We've designed a technology that only can compete and actually obliterate anything in front of us, but has the ability to stay on top no matter what. We're already developing technology already surpassed this, but we can't tell you about it. Always stay on camera. Never worry about what you can see, worry about what you can't see. Look how beautiful that picture looks. So you saw me when I did the Epson projector, right? Unboxed it, didn't change anything in it, hit it with the screen, popped on, no problem whatsoever. That's how your projector is supposed to function. Not you sitting in a forum site with a whole bunch of people telling you all these different things you need to do to fix the problem that you're dealing with. So, we got our new gallon sizes are available on our website. Thank you for those of us who make purchases for the gallon size. We really appreciate your orders. All our products do come with batch number verifications, which means that the product is tested before it's sold to you. You'll see the batch number verification demonstration. It matches on the side of the label. This product right here has all testing completed, which means you can go to our website. You can go to click on the shopping cart. You will see all tests on this demonstration that we've actually posted on this particular product. And mind you, the screen had to be tested in a commercial environment at 24,000 when most people are doing demonstrations or not even close to the lighting we use in our environment. The white levels are amazing. Mind you, you're able to pick up a snow level outside in the morning, I'll say morning, evening, at 300 lumens. We'll be doing more of those demonstrations, by the way. I like those. Oh, let's get that gray screen out. Let's do a comparison on that one when we're out here in all the light, right? Yeah, no phone without a comparison, right? Where's the surface at? Man, it's out here somewhere. Back over here. Duck when I walk over that thing. Up there. Where did I put it at? We have a gray paint. It's a refusal. Here we go, I found it. Now, we call it a refusal, for those who want to know, because we sent the same mixture back to the owner who made the product, and they gave it back to us. It's their product. We used their tutorial video to make the product, and we even made a version in there that was actually the real version of the product that they were supposed to be making, and they still sent it back to us. So we call it the refusal. And that's what it looks like next to our real technology. While we even get a commercial or just around that time, I want to show that off. Come on. There we go. Get us back in here. This is one of the things I explained the most about gray screens. You cannot read a contrast level. How do I say this? I'll say it again. You cannot read a contrast level because you can't read an Infinity 1 or Infinity 2 contrast level. This makes your product obsolete. You have to be able to read that level. Do you see what that screen is reading? It's reading an OLED image. These are OLED videos. And OLEDs don't produce gray, they produce 100% black. So if you have a gray screen, even a gunmetal screen, and you can't read that 100% black level, that means your screen is not working correctly. Now the gunmetals have a better vantage point. Why? Because they pull much darker levels. So they come closer to it, but they're not actually that black level. The gunmetal we're engineering will come extremely close. It'll shift and almost mimic, but is it true black? No, it's not. It's a shifting technology. It doesn't really have the ability to produce a 100% black level. That screen does. So when they're sitting in the dark giving you smoke and mirrors and fake little illusions like, hey, we're picking up a black level in a dark environment, they're lying to you. Because if you can read a black level, you should be able to do this in a fully lit environment without high contrast capabilities. These projectors have 1,000 to 1 contrast. That's it. And mind you, see the distance that we're at? We're not at an ultra short though, laying right up on top of the screen at a foot at 3,000 lumens. This projector is running at 2,500 lumens because it sits in eco mode. This is what you should be reading. All that line being in the dark and covering up windows and all that stuff just to fool you, to make you think you're picking up a contrast level and excellent color, that's nothing but a lie. Now, let's talk about customers. My customers go outside with our stuff. That's what they do. They put our paints in the most extreme area that you can possibly think of, which would be outside. Everybody else, I don't see your customers out there. I see your customers in the dark and environments trying to get their stuff to work. That's what I see. And their projectors are very costly. So this is what you get when you get a gray screen paint. This paint will cost you more money. You know why? You have to spend money for a very expensive projector to fix the problem. And still, even then, you still won't have it fixed. You can't read a contrast. Now, anybody in designing a gray screen, I don't care who you are, what company you are, and you feel that I'm a lie, let's walk in the courtroom. We do the same demonstration, you're in the courtroom. And I bet you don't read that contrast level. I bet you don't read the colors correctly. I guarantee you. And I bet none of you will sign it, ever. Because you know I'm right. So what have you been doing on camera? You've been lying on camera, telling people they're going to pick up a contrast level, telling people they're going to pick up proper color. You've been lying to them. You're supposed to have a 2.0 gain. That does not look like a 2.0 gain to me. Now notice our screen picks up the 100% black in the back, also picks up nice beautiful colors, all at the same time. Now, does the gray screen show an improvement of the white screen? Yeah, it does. But at the end of the day, it's still in the same boat as a white screen. Neither one can be used in full lit environment, neither one full contrast, and both need to be calibrated. Shine that come to the tomatoes, so the nice shine that comes off of it. See how dull and dirt and dingy it looks on the gray screen? I remember one time I was getting ridiculed for our lighting in an environment. It was always using abnormal lighting. It's commercial lighting. You should be able to operate in really well lit environments. I just take light bulbs and clamp them onto the side of my screen all the way around, point all the light inward. If I spent my time developing my screen paints down to town like the way you guys did, I wouldn't be here. There's no way in the world this would fire up in here. So a question I'm going to ask you when I come to your site one day and say, hey, how are you going to get that screen to run in my environment? You can't advise me to buy a new projector because I won't do that. I'm going to stick with the one I have because it works perfectly fine to me over here right now. I'm not going to darken my environment. Why would I do that? We got a 2.0 gain and I got to darken an environment? No, we're not doing that. I'm not calibrating. Why would I calibrate? My projector has enough colors in there to do what it needs to do. It doesn't need 1.7 billion colors. It works perfectly fine. I'm not calibrating jack. I'm not switching out to 4K because that's a 720p projector. So I'm not doing 4K, I'm not doing 10p. I'm not spending any more money. I want to be to spend money for your product, and that should be the end of it. I don't want anything in between. Can you sell that to me? And you can't. Because that gray screen is going to require an expensive projector, contrast, very inky levels, dark environments, which means I got to change my environment. And even all that, I got to calibrate the machine. And they're probably going to have me buy a 4K projector because the resolution will be a lot more sharper. That screen's 100% black. The resolution is about as sharp as it's going to get. So technically, you sold me something that doesn't work. And if I turn my lights on the environment, then what? See, y'all flip-flop. Some will say they're ambient light projection technology, but you have to use it in a controlled environment. How does that work? I don't understand that. If you're ambient light projection technology, why are you in a controlled environment? When we're outside, We're not in controlled environments. What control we have out there? We have no control whatsoever. When that screen's being hit with 100,000 lux of sunlight at 50 to 300 lumens, where's our control? We don't have any. So that's the same way I feel when I walk into an environment. My screen has better pull up in every single environment that I walk through. At any angle, I should be able to see it. I don't want your gray screen doesn't work, and I want your white screen. But a white screen is still valuable, and I'll tell you why. I would rather paint over a white screen any day than a gray screen, because a gray screen is going to cost you more money. Because it's considered to be an upgrade over a white screen. They're going to charge an extra 50 to 100 bucks more, depending on what company you're doing with. So the white screen is still very valuable. Let's go have some fun here. This is where I like to play at. Let's go with 4K Snow Screensaver Cottage. Those of you who have made these statements in the past, remember, in court, this is going to cost you a lot of money. A lot of money. The thing about lawsuits, you have to understand that if they know they can win, they're going to ask for so much money it's not even funny, because they know they're going to get it. That's why. Why not? You get in an accident, everyone saw it happen, right? And you lose a foot or wherever something happens, right? Something crazy happens. God forbid it doesn't happen to you ever. But say it does happen, right? And the company has a ton of money, right? Or say they don't have any money at all. What? It doesn't make a difference. The fact that you can ask for this, why? Because you have hardcore proof that it happened. And if you have hardcore proof that it happens and that person can't back up what they claim, you can ask for whatever you want. Gentlemen, I can literally sue you for $100 million. Did you know that? I can sue you for whatever I want. And you made claims that our black technology next to your product came out so dark it was unwatchable. That's going to cost you a lot of money. So when you see those old zeros pop up, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0, you may have a heart attack when you see the letter. Yep, that technology there is designed to read all our technology. It has the AG47 sitting inside of it. They're all designed to do that. They can pick up these really strange, crazy high white levels. How else would that screen be to generate outside at 300 lumens? I'll do this again outside too. So for those who don't know, we have some individuals who made some very awful statements about our products, and they came out so dark they're unwatchable. These people are being sued for millions. Not million. Millions, like over 10 million. It's up there, it's way up there. They're the crusher lawsuits. Next time, be careful about what you say out of your mouth. You don't have to worry about being in court crying that you don't have that kind of money. Of course we don't have that kind of money. It's designed to bury you. That's what it's designed to do. You know you don't have 100 million. You can sue you for it. Heck, that whole voting machine, boy, hit that guy with 149 million. Sheesh. That's a heavy hit. And he was only worth 49 million. He's got to pay that money with interest. Minus interest on those things. So whatever he doesn't pay, it accumulates. You know, the interest on a lawsuit is with that kind of money, it's brutal. Yeah, it's like being resued all over again for the same amount of money. It's that brutal. I was like, geez, I got hit with that. But then again, they said something they couldn't back up, and they got the court, and that's the way it went down. Pello guy got sued too for the same amount of money. He don't have it either. He's also filing for Chapter 11. But you gotta be careful about that. Can't make those statements like that. And then you do it on social media, and everybody hears it. Yeah, kind of hard to bring that one back. Now, for anyone to sit there and say, well, the demonstration's not real, it's camera. There you go. That camera will cost you millions of dollars too. Because that's a statement you can't back up. So you'll have to prove we actually did that. And if you can't prove that's going to cost you a lot of money. What's the next one? If you feel that the demonstration is fake, how about we send you a document? Give me your address, I'll send a document to you. You can be a post office, that doesn't make a difference, we'll send it to you. Now mind, once the address it hits, whether post office or wherever it's at, you got 3 days to have that paper signed and back to in court. Now that's going to cost you a couple $1 million if you lose that one. But even worse, if we send the document to you by process server or however way it has to be done, because we will track the address down and bring process server to your front door and do it that way. Now once the process server gets in and hands you that document, whether they post to your door or hands it to you, That's going to be a court order for you to appear in court. This is going to involve criminal charges. It's going to show you committed fraud against our company by making false statements about my product that weren't true, which means this will carry a jail time. It'll be like a year, 2 years, something like that, but you'll be getting something out of it. And we'll see you on top of that. So, question, is it worth it? Are you willing to take the gamble? Judging by how many times I've made the statement, I would guess no. So, there we go. To you naysayers at the end of the day, our technology works. Yeah. Isn't it amazing that black technology that can read that well? Wow, look at that. That's absolutely insane, isn't it? And meanwhile, you guys are selling this gray paint. Now, this is what I understand. Look at that. See, we can read the white levels extremely well, but you can't read contrast. Watch this. Starfield screensaver. You guys hate that, don't you? Watch this. Means your grade screens don't read contrast. You can't pick it up. Did you see that? See the massive difference between us and you when it comes to a black level? But see the difference between when it comes to our white levels versus yours? You don't make our stuff look unwatchable. We make your screen look unwatchable. So that's the reason why they were doing all those campaigns. They were terrified of the technology. Because it threatened their scam train. So, gravy train, scam train. I'm going to call it scam train now on. Scam train. Because, they're in there doing all these fake demonstrations and cutting corners and stuff. And we could do that to you. Now, mind you, did have companies, right? And you did have PayPal accounts, right? So if you had a PayPal account, that means you were taking transactions from customers, which gives us the right to take your company's support for fraud. Because as long as we can show that you had an active PayPal account and you did take money from people, we can challenge your company in court. And that I will do. So you better pray that your stuff at the end of the day does exactly what it says it does. Or you're in a lot of trouble. Till then, I'll continue crushing your stuff every day. We'll be outside soon. Once the weather clears up, that's going outside against that technology at 300 lumens. Let's see if it reads. I don't think it's going to read. Let's do a better one. Let's get the one with the black makeup on. That's my favorite one right there. AK Desired Nature. I've seen this demonstration on someone's setup, and they had it in the dark. Now, why would you have that sitting in the dark, right? Ooh, look at this with the red levels. Man, what's wrong with that? Notice the menu doesn't read. The reason why, and I can't explain this enough, when I see menus popping up and they come up gray, YouTube menus don't do gray. They do black and white. That's the only ones they do. The only two options you have, and you don't have a gray option. Somebody sat there and said, but they have a gray. No, they don't have gray options. No. Your screen comes out gray because it can't read the contrast. See that? It's not reading the contrast correctly. Let me see. I bet you put a D right there. I guarantee it did. It always does that. Wait, what's this new? Oh, we gotta do all these, man. These are look gorgeous on here. Oh, we're gonna definitely have a ball here. Definitely. Our gray screen's gonna be an interesting day for you. We're gonna do some demonstrations in its fully lit environment. It could be worse. We could have you in the Halo system. Those things are brutal. But we just this is basic lighting we have in here we're using right now. Well, it's extreme, but you're supposed to have this anyway. That commercial lighting. There we go. Is this right here? There should be. Yes, it is. All right. Giddy up. Let's begin. Now, what we saw in the demonstration, they claim they pulled the contrast over, right? Problem is, high-powered projector, dark environment. There's a little light splash behind the back of the screen in the dark. You're not supposed to do that. All contrast levels need to be done in fully lit environments, so that way the customer knows what they're buying. If we do it in the dark, how are they going to know? They use the excuse by saying that, oh, but projection screens are meant to be used. No, no, no. That's a thing of the past now. That's why we had ambient projection. They're making ultra short those to replace TVs. That excuse is gone. You can't use that no more. You have to read 100% contrast. And contrast levels all need to be done in fully lit environments so the customers know exactly what they are buying. Now, when I had these customers, I had these customer conversations with customers. This is what you should be asking. Anytime you see any contrast level pops on the screen with a comparison screen, you want to see lights on. None of that dim birthday cake nonsense with little lights here in the corner and over. You don't want to see that crap. You want to see lights on. Slide that thing over next to the window, open the blinds up. Let's see what you got. You have to understand, at the end of the day, well, or us, it's the opposite. People need us. We don't need them. But, you know, we only want ones to make this technology. That's how it works for us on our end. Because we can just, hey, we don't want to do business. We don't do business with you. But anyway, at the end of the day, people that are doing these fake demonstrations need you. So the best customer for them is a customer who doesn't know jack. That's the best customer. That's someone they can mold and lie to. So that's why we're going to put all the information for what you need to ask for. And it's going to tick them off. It is going to tick them off. When we talked about the batch numbers, remember that? Oh, it ticked them off to no end. They got so upset about that. Oh, batch numbers are phony. They're fake. You don't need them. Buddy, batch numbers are used by a lot of companies use batch numbers. So I'm not the only one that uses them. There's a lot of big companies that use them. So they're all fake and phonies too. It's just the reason why you don't like the batch number, because the batch number makes you have to test your products. And you don't like to test your products because they don't work. That's why. Now, when we get to court, they're going to request all your test demonstrations on your products, on everything we talk about. You have to have everything to back up everything that we just stated. If you don't, well, then guess what? You're in a lot of trouble. You'll be hit with consumer fraud, and consumer fraud can carry a jail time maximum of 30 years. You don't want those. You don't want 30 years, trust me. So, because that means if you can't back it up in court, that means you couldn't back it up online. That means you lied to a lot of people and you ripped them off. And that's for anybody, not just one person, anybody. Now, and this demonstration also very important. Look at the background. It always says black, right? That's one thing they miss in the OLED horse. And the OLED horse, they just went completely over their head. They're thinking, oh, I picked up a black. I need to pick up black. Multiple shades of gray. But the OLED demonstration, if you look at it carefully, shows multiple shades of black. It also shows the background that comes up in super ultra black. So it shows it can show an ultra black level and different shades of black at the exact same time. Also very beautiful color too on top of that. Skin tones, all that came up. But they didn't get any of that. Because you can't see the multiple shades, because you can't read dark colors. That's one of the things you skip when it comes to your gray and lighter screens, is the dark colors. You have to read those. You know, because if you look at a beautiful forest has multiple shades of green. So multiple shades of green, you're going to see light green, you're going to see dark green, you're going to see mid green. It's not all green out there. There's something wrong going on with the ecosystem if that was the case. You can't pick those up because you can't read dark colors. That's the same thing we had with the what was the screen we tested? We tested the Firehawk G4 and G5. But it was the Darkstar 9. The Darkstar 9. We got it from a forum site. And the guy was mad at me because my projector was sitting on the floor. So you can't put a projector on the floor. The screen has to be up high. There you go. Mine's on the floor. Mine's not having a problem. Oh, so you're saying that I have to be up and have to be level with the screen in order for it to pick up. Here's the thing. I must spend $3,000 for a screen. It better be to put that projector anywhere I want. That's what I mean by the restriction policies. If you have a venue projector, not a venue projector, a high-end projector screen, they know it has an angle gain issue. They will put in their specifications that you have to have your projector in line with the screen, knowing that these angle gains could occur if you have the projector sitting in any other position. So if you want to put it on the floor, you can't put it on the floor because the screen won't read it, won't pick it up, because they know that it has that issue. So you have to accommodate moving your projector up and trying to shift it just right to hit your screen, because your screen has that issue at $3,000. So I explained to him, if I'm going to spend $3,000 for a screen, I better be to put my projector anywhere I want. Our screen's not having a problem, so what's the issue? And that costs far less. There you go. End of the conversation. Heck, that thing better get up and do taxes, mow the lawn, wash cars, walk the dogs. You've been doing a lot of things for $3 grand for a screen at 100 inches only. Ugh. Yeah. Let's keep going down this yellow brick road. I like the scenery. I'm really enjoying it. Ooh, I like this one right here. Let's check this one out. I've seen this one done in a very dark environment with an ultra short though projector. Another lie. Now, what excuse do we have for the gray screen? Watch this. A black background, color washes out. What excuse do we have here for the gray screen? It doesn't work right because we have to calibrate. We don't calibrate. We need higher contrast. We don't need higher contrast. We are contrast. Calibrate? I don't want to do that crap. I don't even want to do that crap. So, no, that's not going to happen either. And if that screen needs it, then why would I buy it? It's another headache for me to deal with. Darken the environment. Maybe the environment's not dark enough. Maybe we have way too much light in here. Well, I don't know how you would have a 2.0 rating if you basically can't operate in some kind of light in the environment. You have to be in a dark environment all the time. That's not a 2.0 game. Honestly, it's a headache when it comes to the gray screen. Can I use it for projector mapping? No, it doesn't work with projector mapping application. It could be to read 100% black to do that. What about the ceiling? What about we do infinity? Don't forget that. Infinity fillings and jet black. That's not going to happen. What if I want to paint it to the floor? Far worse, because the floor takes in more ambient light than any other screen because the light's directed right at it. Even window light hits the floor. So the floor is taking actually more light. So that's not going to happen. What about outside? If you can't get it to work inside, it definitely ain't working outside. Now, even if it's dark outside, it still doesn't read correctly. So what did you spend the money on? What did you waste time on to paint into your wall or on your screen that you paid money for? You painted an obsolete product, an outdated product. That's what you painted in. My customers, well, they can go outside and watch a sea turtle. At one point, they argued with us how contrast black screens were a waste of time, and now they want to be black technology. Did you notice that? Where do you want to go? Let's see. We got and we go anywhere we want because we got black technology. Where do we want to go? What colors we do? We can do these right here. Let's do this. There's some pretty colors going on over here. Definitely. You see them colors pop up? That's what is incredible in our technology.
Unlimited 2% cash back on the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card.
Okay. See how dull those colors come up on those hot peppers. Let me give you up close up to it. See that? That's what gray screens do. They dull your colors. That's why you're calibrating, because your colors are all dulled out. That's why we crack jokes and talk about putting lotion on the screen. You gotta put the lotion on the screen because it's so dull. Look how washed out and dull that is. That's a refusal, by the way. Basic majority of most screen paints are made that way anyway. But anyway, yeah, look at that. That's why when I showed the demonstration of when he was in the I don't know what was the kind of I don't know, it's kind of school or whatever it was, but the projectile, the birds were all washed out. The blue levels were low, the green levels were low, the red levels were all washed out. The demonstration with the Frankenstein mix. I'm sorry, buddy, I want to make this all about you, but you did do this, okay? So that's why we have to make the statement. But the Frankenstein mix, how dull and washed out those colors were. and had a nerve to say this is a final test is completed. You thought that was completed? That's a final test? Oh my goodness. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. The colors were so nasty looking. Come on. Come on, just push anything out the door. Don't care. Don't test it. Don't push it out the door. Don't care. Charge customers, whatever. Lie on camera, do whatever. That's just sad. Now, the other gray screens, what I see is when they say outdoor capabilities, I see the screen outside, plenty of light outside, but the projector's not on. And then they show another picture. Oh, another perfect example. Look at that. Can't read red. They can't read red. But another example, and they have the lights out. Like it's dark outside and the projector's on. Why didn't you show the demonstration with the whole light outside and the screen with the projector on? There's no point in even having that picture in there. It's misleading. But anyway, getting back to the reds on a gray screen for that. Remember, we're sitting there watching the demonstration of the P2 versus the Cinemax mix versus the Network Gray 773. You know how washed out and dull the image was looking? There you go. Told you it does the same thing. So that's going to be a very angry customer right there. You sit there and look at the screen, and that's what you're getting out of the projector you just paid money for. Man, I'll tell you. The wake-up call. Been telling you this for years. What happened? We had these discussions with people on YouTube for years about these products that don't work. And some of you are sitting up there right now. You got this on your wall. You can't even do this right now. You can't even fire up in a fully lit environment because your screen will go dull or wash out. Open up 2 windows, your screen's gone. The poor customer whose screen had washed out at 2 windows, and yet we could be outside at 300 lumens and still generate from across the street. That's pretty bad, you know that? And what was this projector? He had a 4K projector with a 500,000 to 1 contrast. And I'm outside at a 300 lumens 720p projector. That's a shame. Now, it's not to make fun of the customer. The customer literally thought he was going to get something nice. You can see in the video. He didn't do anything bad or slanderous, anything nasty about the fellow who sold him that crap paint. He didn't. He even tried to open up the window to try to show that it did something, and that screen was gone. You can see him right there in the video. He said, not enjoyable. Of course it can't be enjoyable. I'd have been so heartbroken to... It's not even my setup, and I'm heartbroken watching that. He got ripped off. Whatever he told, mind you, on his website, clearly stated it's not ambient light rejection. If you're stating yourself it's not ambient light rejection, why is a customer opening up a window unless you told him he could do it? Because if you look at the guy is not doing this to be nasty toward him in any way whatsoever. He's not. He literally thought that he can open up a window and watch the screen. Most people would have had some kind of blackout curtains or something knowing that would affect the screen, and he would have had it in the dark most of the time if he knew it was the case. But he sold him that product on making him believe that he could open up those windows to get that money out of him. You can see it in the video. And the guy sat there and said, not enjoyable. Did you watch the video when he did that whole setup? I did. I watched the whole thing. I watched how he put that room together and everything. He put a lot of hard work into that. And then the final thing you need to make that room pop off to make it what it is failed you. This is why we have no problem with taking him to court and taking him for everything he's worth. Because you got to pay for this mess. He ripped a lot of people off. And then we got this refusal over here. Can't even back up his own stuff. And this is the problem you have with a lot of the gray screens out here. Some do tell the truth about the limitations of their products, but some are trying to sell their products off like their new high-end technology and they can do all this stuff. You just can't do this stuff, man. This will get you in lawsuits. Our technology, you're going to paint that screen up and have one outside with no problem. That's how bad that paint is. You know, for those of you don't, I just said that's a refusal. We call it it's metallic mix 2.0. Now, why we call it the refusal? That was sent to his front door. He wanted nothing to do with it. He sent it back to us. There are two versions. Now, that one is the real version. The real version has actual silver mica, which makes it a metallic mix. He sent it back. That's why. Ripped people off for years. Made money off people for years. Went out and traveled and did this and did that on your dime at the end of the day. You gotta be the civil form size with this paint. I showed them this mess. The person who refused the product, you'll be in court. You'll see this again in a courtroom. You'll be in a courtroom a lot this year. That's disgusting. Now, if he came out and said, hey, I made this great paint, contrast of it, you have to be in a dark environment to pick up and so on and so and so. But you were competing against a company that specializes in ambient projection technology, telling people at the end of the day, your product does better than the product we have here. That's what you said, right? Because I have you on recording saying it multiple times. So that means you misled customers, making them believe that your product could do something that it can't do. That's like me trying to sell, no offense about the car, a Kia. Saying Kias are the same thing as Bugattis, Lamborghinis, and Aston Martins. Now we all know that's not real. So that'd be a lie. You're trying to take a car to compete with a super vehicle. There's a difference between the two, a great difference between the two. But that's what you try to do. And you swindled and ripped off your customers, trying to make them believe something, saving you hundreds. Remember your theme? Saving you hundreds. When actually your customers have to spend more money to get that stuff fixed. Why buy his stuff when I can save you hundreds? Ours does the same thing. Remember the slogan? Best of the best. I got all over, printed all over stuff sent over here, so we got it. When you lied, you know your stuff wouldn't do anything like that whatsoever. That's why the customer opened up those windows thinking that he was going to be able to watch that soccer game on that screen. You probably said, hey, we got the same projector, got an outdoor, you got an outdoor, you do the same thing. And he said, unenjoyable. That's heartbreaking to hear. Oh, let's check this one out. So when we get in there, I'm going to have my attorney ask all the questions to you for all the things you refuse to answer. I want to know all your tests. And you better have them. You're sitting right next to the judge. The judge is staring right at you. You better have those tests showing that your product does exactly what you claim it does. I got your product here, right? This is your refusal. This is your actual product. You refuse, right? I'm taking it to court with him. I'm taking it to court to prosecute you. Showing that this is your item. It's made exactly the same way in your video. We made another version that actually is the version that is the Metallica mix, the real one. And we're going to use that box against you in court. You should never send it back to me. There's more than just sending him the box. We're seeing if you can actually take a product that he actually claimed that was his, and mind you, he told his customers that stuff worked, right? That stuff matches all his paints. So with that being said, that he was ripping off his customers by saying each one of these paints did something different when actually they didn't. They all did the same thing. Same thing. Nothing different at all. So you scammed your customers there by making them believe that they were getting different paints and they weren't. They were just getting all the same stuff. And this is from your actual video. Shows me basically making it from the exact same video. So right there, it also shows that you refused something that actually you made. So why would you do that? If you can't back that up, means you couldn't back it up to your customers, and that means you took their money without knowing, well, actually, with knowing that the product could not be backed up. Right? There you go. So we'll see you in court soon. And we've got all the information on that. To go back to the post office and get all the confirmation and everything on it, just to show it came from you and all that stuff, the refusal, time, dates, all that for court. Look how fast he left the room. Absolutely awful. Look at that. That's a shame. Now see, that's why our customers buy our products. And, you know, we always hear the crying and whining, not ambient light rejection. Remember I told you, write that on the side of the container, not ambient light rejection, Kenny, punctuation marks. So here, he would complain and say, well, my product's not ambient light rejection. I never said. Oh, but yes, you did. We got you in the video, the Frankenstein, saying that your product is ambient light rejection. Multiple times. So, yeah. And besides, if you're competing with a company that is ambient light projection, wouldn't that give your customers the idea that you are ambient light projection technology? So, which one is it? Are you or are you not? Because at one point you say you're the same thing we are. And if that's the case and you open up windows and doors around your screen, that means you do the same thing we do, right? Apparently not. We'll have the Refusal Metallica 2.0 outside soon. Do some demonstrations on that. Oh, I saw that.
It's Macy's.
This one. The gray screen is an obsolete product. It is. It's an obsolete product. Sad to say that those who basically still do gray screens, and if you're just being honest, at the end of the day, it's an obsolete product. They're called budgets. So white screens are budget, gray screens are budget paint. That's what they are. But if you're going to do a budget product, don't waste some money on an expensive projector. It's just not worth it. It's not going to fix it, trust me. Next demonstration, I'm going to stack the boxes a little higher up. I want to be closer to my light over top me. I'll explain you will be going with us. Ooh, let's do this one right here. I love white levels. I love doing white levels in our technology. If you notice, we do a lot of white level demonstrations in fully lit environments in our technology, but how often do you see gray screens doing contrast levels in fully lit environments? There you go. I want to go with Skyworth food demonstration. I want to do the one that starts with the black first. You ever notice that they never do this one? You know why? They'll do this one first. This one doesn't show the solid black level first. This one will show the solid black level. They'll skip this one altogether. Or they'll fast forward the video, or they'll skip the intro which shows the black level. Yep. We notice all that.
Cast for ads from Amazon to April.
Now, keep in mind, The refusal version that we have in Metallica is actually the real one. This one has 2 tablespoons of dark silver mica in it. So this one's much more advanced than the gray version that he was selling to his customers that didn't have any silver in it. Just so you know.
Want to get out of here? Here's this shit done.
We can't decide here.
Okay, let's move on.
Where those trucks?
You man came in, that's rent a car that you give me for the car I just bought in there. A car that's bigger than that. What am I looking for this demonstration? I'm looking for a screen to go dark. I want to see where my screen comes up so dark you can't watch. Because, you know, that's the screen that was made by this individual multiple times, done a lot of videos. Some of the other individuals, too, made that statement. All right? Now, you're going to find this part very interesting. There's more than one person actually made these statements about our company. At the end of the year, we're going to round up all these individuals for one massive lawsuit and very serious criminal charges. That's why we're sitting there gathering information. They've been gathering information since last year on your channels. And those people we had behind fake accounts, that doesn't exist anymore. I told you I had people I brought online for that to take care of all the little problems. So we got all you guys all rounded up together. There's a massive conspiracy charge that a bunch of people got together and did all these fake demonstrations against our company, try to bring our company down. Your time of calling is becoming soon. And these lawsuits are heavy lawsuits. Some of them, some people get a little more than others, requires jail time. So if you think at the end of the day that you got away with it, I'm here to tell you did not. But let's continue watching. Now, if you're home and this makes you really, really nervous, you need to be very, very nervous. Get a lawyer. That's all I can tell you. Look how fast they popped out. Yeah, a lot of people going to get in trouble getting sued over it. The only advice I got from them is get attorneys. That's what they can do. You're going to have to get a lawyer. You're going to have to prove in court that our product did exactly as you claimed in your YouTube video. If you can't, it's going to cost you a lot of money. We're talking about millions of dollars, a lot of money. And serious jail time. You can get a year, or you might get 10 years. But not. Depends on what goes on in the courtroom. But we know there's a lot of you. Some of you even got you on video making the statements. So then, we have the most superior black technology on the market. Anyone who feels at the end of the day, I said it dozens of times, that if you feel that all our demonstrations are fake, sign the contract. We'll see you in court. I'm saying what, since last year? I haven't signed yet. Good. But I can prove 100% that your product doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Oh, I love showing up those white levels. Giddy, it's a good girl with a new dress. That's a whole lot of giddy. Boom. Look at that. You ever want to pay me so much money, it's not even funny. I can't wait till they start. Some people got some real nice stuff. I just got to bring in a financial advisor to go through your assets to see what you are actually worth and what we can take from you. Because, you know, some people have their houses are owned by the bank. Some people own their houses, stuff like that. You know, we got a lot of information back. But yeah, we had to go through all that. So, well, it's been pretty bad. Just imagine this is a courtroom right now, and you're in a courtroom. And right now, you're saying that our product came up so dark. Like, it's that product. Just imagine right now. This right here is going to cost you over $10 million for that statement you just made. And it could possibly give you jail time if you mess up in this environment. Imagine that. Just think about it. But the few minutes that you have in that courtroom will decide the fate of your life and everything around you. This is why you don't say things out of your mouth you can't back up. This can get you sued. And hiding behind fake accounts won't help you. Not in this era, it won't. This is digital era. Your carbon footprints shows up all over the internet. Not hard to find you. And we got your videos, we got your voice, we got your pictures, even your image. On a fake account, we can track you down by your image and face recognition software, voice recognition software. There is so much technology out there, it's not even funny. And in the right hands of the right people that are basically certified to do so, as in tracking down individuals if they need to, they're going to find you. Oh, look at these. Tucker, you would never let me do that. That will bite the living daylights out of me if I try that. It's not that type of fight. And yeah. Deleting your videos, they won't do you any good. We have copies of everything. So that won't help you. And if it comes up missing, when they go back to look for it after we have the pre-record that shows you deleted it. And then I'm going to ask you questions like, why did you get rid of it? If you felt that at the end of the day that was the truth. What are you going to say after that? Mind you, back up a product that a person just sent us back. That's how bad it is for you. The person who sent it back literally threw you under a bus. So if that's the product you were backing up, making false claims against their company, and we got canceled receipts, cancel orders from them. We got crying out, you can't back the product up. So we got all these cancellations that you pretty much have against them, and the refusal. How is your claim going to work in court? The person who made the product that you were backing up and did the false demonstrations against us, he can't back it up. Yeah, you're doomed. There you go. Now you got the understanding of it all. And I explain to people, look, life is as hard as it is right now. The last thing you need is a lawsuit. And you got one. So I'm not going to mention your names, who you are, but we know who you are. Just so you know. But that refusal, that's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. You mentioned Jamie and Crow's name multiple times in these videos. And you mentioned our name, as our product's not working and being scam and rip-off items. So if that's the case, how is it that the product we have under the table, the person who made the product couldn't even back it up himself? How well is that going to work for you in court? You might just send us your money now. It's not the money that's going to hurt you. It's the time that's going to hurt you. Because those are serious charges. When we had that many people involved, these are very serious conspiracy charges. It means you guys all grouped together to attack me. And this can carry 30 years, a lot of time in jail, if you're found guilty on these charges, which we can prove. That's the part that hurts the most. It's not the money, it's the time. Because that's the time you can't get back. You can always get money back. Anybody can get money back. Can't get time back. So you guys figured out, I don't have time for it. I got another demonstration to do on this. Let's do some more gray versus gray. I'm going to do, I might have one here. 4K snow screensavers. I love showing this off. You have no idea how much fun I have doing this. Ooh, look at this one right here. Oh, hey, wait, I forgot these right here. I'm going to do a couple of those real quick. I'm over my time, but I'm having some fun. Can't take my fun away from me. Don't stop me now because I'm having a good time. Ooh, that'd make a great video with it. Don't stop me now because I'm having a good time showing our white levels versus our technology. Oh, man, I'm having fun. Look at that. Is that beautiful? Oh, sorry. Every time I say it, I'm just going to cry. How come every time we do this, you guys don't do the same thing? How come you don't do a fully lit environment like we're doing right now with your contrast levels? How come you don't do that? You never do that. Why? I wonder why you'll never do that. And yet they'll claim you always do that in the dark for some reason. Why? I said, if you have a black screen, you should never ever be in a dark environment. Like that guy over in England who sat in the dark. There's something wrong there. Because if gray screens, gunmetals have a 0.8 and 0.9 gain, and they can operate in this environment. They can actually operate in here with no problem. I've tested them. Then how's a black screen that's had a gain way higher than that is sitting in the dark? For the fellow in the UK. Why are you in the dark with that thing? You know why you're in the dark? Because the screen is gray, not black. That's why. You probably said, man, this guy's sitting in my head rent-free. Yeah, I mean, I do that a lot. I sit in a lot of people's heads rent-free. Let's do blue screensaver. No. I said blue. Blue screensaver. You're right next to me, microphone. This is going to hurt a lot, just so you know. Yep, we got a commercial. Let's get the one without the commercial. Now we can say it. Where's it at? That's not it. I don't want the commercial. Oh, give me a break on this. Here is no ads. This is going to hurt a lot. You don't read blue. Can't read color. That's why you got to calibrate. All right, next demonstration. Why do gray screens require constant calibrating? That's the next one. Just to give you a sneak peek what's going to come with the next demonstration. People, I'm going to let you know right now. These demonstrations we're going to do in this refusal mix, real refusal mix, Metallica 2.0, is going to be ruffling. Now, mind you, can we say this about all gray screens? Yes, we can say about all gray screens. They can't read a contrast level. You need contrast to read color. You need white levels to read color. So the problem is they're generating the white level, they're just not ready to generate the contrast level that's needed. We want to do some dark color patterns too when we come back. So this is going to ruffle some feathers, just so you know. So be prepared. On their channels, you're going to hear a lot of screaming and yelling and ranting and crying. No backing up anything, just the crying part, okay? So remember that. For the naysayers that back this stuff at the end of the day, I would suggest you take the time to go pick up a box of tissues and that's all I can tell you. All right, we'll be back. We're trying.